The winter wind howled through the dark alley as Ryan pulled his jacket tighter around his shoulders. He had just finished his night shift and was on his way home to his little daughter, Lily, who was waiting for him with hot cocoa and her favorite bedtime story. But that night, something, or rather, someone, stopped him dead in his tracks. A muffled cry echoed from behind a dumpster. "Please, don't hit me," a trembling voice pleaded. Ryan froze. His heart raced as he followed the sound, his flashlight trembling slightly in his grip. When he turned the corner, he saw a sight that made his blood run cold. A young woman, visibly pregnant, crouched against the wall, shielding her stomach with her arms as a man towered over her, shouting. Her clothes were torn, her face bruised, and her eyes, filled with pure terror. "Hey!" Ryan shouted, stepping forward. "Leave her alone." The man spun around, startled, and cursed before running off into the night. Ryan rushed to the woman's side, kneeling beside her. "It's okay," he said softly. "He's gone. You're safe now." Tears streamed down her face. She was shaking uncontrollably. "Please don't hurt me," she whispered again, as if expecting another blow. Ryan's chest tightened. "I won't, I promise." He helped her stand, noticing how light she felt, as if she hadn't eaten properly in days. "Let's get you somewhere warm," he said gently. "Do you have anywhere to go?" She shook her head, unable to speak. That night, Ryan brought her home. Lily, his 6-year-old daughter, peeked from behind the living room door as Ryan guided the stranger inside. The woman's name was Emma. Her voice was soft but tired, her eyes distant yet kind. Ryan made her some soup while Lily handed her a blanket, her innocent eyes full of concern. "Are you gonna have a baby?" Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Emma managed a faint smile. "Yes, sweetheart." Ryan watched quietly as his daughter sat beside Emma, holding her hand. There was something pure in that moment, a connection between two hearts that had both known loss. Over the next few days, Ryan learned bits and pieces of Emma's story. She had run away from an abusive relationship. Her partner had thrown her out when he found out she was pregnant, accusing her of ruining his life. She had nowhere to go, no family willing to take her in, and no money. She had been surviving on scraps and sleeping wherever she could, until that night. Ryan's heart ached as he listened. He understood pain too well. His wife had died 3 years ago in a car accident, leaving him to raise Lily alone. Since then, life had been a daily struggle of bills, late-night shifts, and endless worry. But no matter how tired he was, he never let Lily feel unloved. Emma offered to leave, saying she didn't want to be a burden. But Ryan refused. "You're not a burden," he told her. "You and your baby deserve safety. Stay as long as you need." Weeks turned into months. The house slowly filled with warmth again. Lily adored Emma. She helped her decorate the nursery corner, read stories to the baby bump, and even sang lullabies at night. Ryan noticed the change in himself, too. For the first time in years, he laughed more, slept better, and found peace in the small things, a shared meal, the sound of laughter, the hope of a better tomorrow. But life wasn't easy. Money was tight. Ryan worked extra shifts, often skipping meals just to make sure Emma and Lily had enough. One night, as Emma washed the dishes, she noticed his hands were cracked and his eyes weary. "You're doing too much," she said softly. "You need rest." Ryan smiled faintly. "I'll rest when you and the baby are safe." Tears welled up in her eyes. No one had ever cared for her like that, not even her own family. Then one evening, Emma went into labor. Ryan panicked, rushing her to the hospital in the old car that barely started. Hours later, he stood outside the delivery room, praying silently. Finally, the doctor emerged with a smile. "She's fine, and so is the baby, a healthy baby boy." Ryan let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. When he saw Emma holding her son for the first time, his eyes filled with tears. She looked up at him, exhausted but glowing. "His name is Hope," she said. "Because that's what you gave us." Ryan couldn't speak. He just nodded, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. Months passed, and their little family grew closer. Ryan helped Emma get back on her feet, helping her find part-time work and rebuilding her confidence. She, in turn, brought light back into their lives, cooking, laughing, caring for Lily, and filling the house with the kind of love Ryan thought he'd lost forever. One day, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Emma turned to him. "You saved me, Ryan. I don't know how I'll ever repay you." He smiled softly. "You already have." "How?" she asked. He looked at Lily playing with baby Hope in the yard and said, "You brought joy back into our lives. You reminded me what it means to care again." Tears glistened in Emma's eyes as she took his hand. "You changed everything," she whispered. Final scene. Christmas Eve arrived, and the small house glowed with warmth and laughter. Lily hung ornaments on the tree, baby Hope giggled in Emma's arms, and Ryan placed the final star at the top. It wasn't wealth or luxury that made their home shine that night, it was love, kindness, and the healing power of compassion. Emma glanced at Ryan, her heart full. For years, she had lived in fear, believing kindness was a fairy tale. But now, surrounded by the family she never expected, she finally understood, sometimes, angels don't have wings. Sometimes, they wear worn-out jackets and carry tired hearts but still choose to help others anyway. And that choice changes everything.